Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And this video is actually a highly requested one. I've gotten a lot of DMs, a lot of emails, and some YouTube comments about my ankle surgery and the recovery process. So today I want to just kind of walk you guys through the whole shebang. So after the surgery, it was a open procedure. That means they cut open my ankle. If you can see, there's a scar here and there's two mini scars on the top of my ankles, and they opened it up and basically they did ligament reconstruction. So what they did was they put two cameras on the top of my ankles. I don't know if you can see right here. And they went in, used the camera, and just saw like what was wrong, if it was inflamed. I had done previous MRI scans, so they also used that, and I also did x-rays before to see if there was anything wrong with the bone. And they saw there was nothing wrong with the bone, and it was just a sprain, but I kept on playing on it, so it had just gotten worse over the years. And they saw that there was some inflammation, so they took that out. The ligament was split in two, or it was like a gap. So then they sewed that up and then connected it back to the bone, and then took out a little bit of more ligament because my ligament was stretched so much. It was just very weak, very like wobbly, and I don't think PT would have done much because it would have just strengthened the ankle, but the root of the problem was still there. So I decided to get this done because I wanted to be done with high school sports first, because high school sports was a big part of my life, and I didn't want to be out for 4 or 5 months. That's like a whole 2 seasons, because I did fall, I did spring, I did winter, I did all the sports. I also did summer sports, also clubs for dance, volleyball, and swimming. So that would have taken a lot out of my time, and transportation would have been difficult because senior year I started to drive myself, so I wouldn't have been able to drive. So I decided to get it done I wanted to get it done last summer, except I wanted to spend my senior summer going into freshman year of college with my friends and hanging out, so I decided to wait a little bit. And then when I had time during winter break, I had a 5-week period. I decided to get it done on the third week of winter break so that I could spend time with family and spend the holidays and go skiing, and then I could get it done and have a week or two to rest before the school year actually started again. So I had looked at I kept track of what meds I took and what when I took them and how I was feeling at the time, and it turns out that when I recorded the last video, I was feeling fine. I had just woken up from the anesthesia, and I had felt no pain because I had numbed my leg, and it was actually really weird because I tried to move my toes and they just weren't moving, and it was a really weird sensation, but I was kind of glad because the pain kicked in later on. So then the next day when I woke up, it was 2 p.m. and I had still felt no pain. Going to the bathroom was fine. I just used crutches, and then at 2 p.m. I went downstairs to play piano for a little bit, and I realized, oh my gosh, my leg kind of hurts. So I went upstairs and I was like, I'm staying here for a while. So when the painkiller started wearing off, I definitely felt a lot of pain where the incisions were. It wasn't unbearable pain, it was kind of like a burning sensation. And whenever that would happen, I would take a pill of the painkillers that they prescribed. I don't have the bottle on me with now, but I'll definitely put what kind of painkillers I was on in the description. And so I would feel occasional pain, especially on like the wide incision mark, like right here, and then a little bit of pain on top, but the 2 incisions on top were not as bad. So when I felt pain, I would take pain medications. They gave me 60 pills, and I think I took about 15 total. I tried to take them no more than once every 4 to 6 hours because I didn't want to be on them too much. And what really helped was my parents were both home during this time when I was doing the surgery. So they would bring me food upstairs, and if I ever had to like go to the bathroom and I needed help, they would like kind of walk me, make sure I didn't fall, make sure I wasn't too dizzy. I always had water, I always ate, and I slept a lot. So during this time, I watched all the Marvel movies, so I had enough time, and it was really comfortable, but I had to lay in bed the whole time. I always kept my leg elevated more, and when I could, I would ice it, but as you saw in the last video, I had a huge cast on, so the ice, I didn't really feel the ice. And then I knew when the pain would kick in, when I would wake up, and I'd eat for a little bit. and then I'd realize, oh, like it's burning, so I take a pain medication pill. However, the pain medication pill did make me feel really sleepy, so as soon as I took it, I knew I'd go to sleep. But when I was asleep, I didn't feel any pain because obviously I was unconscious. So that was okay. And for a week, on and off, sometimes the pain would be really bad. Sometimes, pretty rarely, I would wake up in the middle, like at 4 a.m. and I'd be like, oh, it's time to take another pill because I can't sleep. So that was one thing. And I also realized that I could only sleep on my back because my leg was propped up and I couldn't really turn it because I was scared I was gonna like tear something that I wasn't supposed to, and I had stitches in, so I want to keep those intact. And yeah, the first month, I would say, after the surgery was pretty rough, especially the first week after. But after a week, I was able to go to the doctors and they gave me a boot. So I was walking in a boot for a month, and I couldn't really walk in it yet, but I could slowly put more pressure on it, and I would be using crutches the whole time. So then for the month that I got my boot, I was back at school, started the new semester, and my school has a really great transportation system where if you're injured, then they'll literally drive you from where you need to go to your class, and it'll take like 10 minutes, and you just put it in like an hour before, and it's really great, and that was really helpful. After 2 weeks, I started going to physical therapy, and there, it was the first time I took off my boot, and they gave me a brace so that later on I could use the brace instead of just the gigantic boot. So maybe I was in the boot for a month and a half. So I was in the boot and doing PT for a month. So at first they just took my measurements, how much I could move my ankle, which wasn't very much. And we just did exercises. If you guys want a video on specific exercises I did and how that recovery process went, just let me know, and I'll make a video on that hopefully very soon. Basically, PT was pretty good. They saw my needs and they saw what I wanted to do and where I wanted to get back to, and they were just working on it. At first, it was just kind of mobility. After mobility, it was like strengthening, but first you could only do this way and then this way, and then I don't really quite know the technical terms to it yet. And then, so PTs, I'm still doing PT currently, and it is June, and I did my surgery on January 15th, so it's been about like 5 months, and right now, after a month and a half, I was in a soft brace, and then through the soft brace, I was able to walk in regular shoes. But just a warning, after the surgery, I did lose a lot of calf muscle. In a compilation video that I'll do after my whole recovery and I'm completely healed and I'm back to sports, I'll make a video on that. And I lost a lot of calf muscle, not as much quad, but definitely my quad was a lot weaker. And I realized my left leg had been compensating all the weight, so my left leg was a lot stronger. And so it was a lot stronger, and then I'm working back up, trying to build back muscle mass. And what I learned is you can lose muscle mass in a whole week. I didn't use my right leg for a whole week, and it was just shriveled up. And it took probably 4 or 5 months to build up that muscle again. And it's a slow process, and the PT, the physical therapist, will give you home exercises, which I highly encourage you do, because it'll make the whole process a lot easier, a lot better transition, so when you go there, they can actually improve on you, because PT will only work if you put in the effort for it as well. I still can't, I'm not clear to run yet, but I am clear to do 2-leg hops, and I can swim now. So I can swim, but I can't quite do any lateral movement. I can't do any 1-leg jumps on my right leg yet. So no volleyball and no dance yet. But I have been doing light dancing, where it's if it's mostly 2 legs on the ground, mostly upper body stuff. And I have been, if I've ever late to class or I need to catch a bus, I will sometimes sprint, but don't recommend it. And obviously I feel a little bit tight afterwards, but it's not a big deal. And as long as you stretch afterwards, I felt that it was fine. What else? So yeah, process is going well. Right now I don't need a brace and I can walk normally. I can walk in flip-flops. I can wear heels, but I just can't quite hop yet on one leg. It's still unstable. My leg is still learning how to balance, and the muscles and everything are still getting used to from the major surgery, because it is a pretty major surgery. So what I would recommend if you're getting a similar surgery or if you're in a similar condition to find a space of at least 5 months where you're not doing anything high intensity workout related. But just because you can't use your legs, that doesn't mean I didn't try to work out. So when I started to get my boot off and I was in a soft brace, I would try to just do floor exercises or do stuff that didn't require to be standing up. So I used a lot of Blogilates. That was pretty useful. I would work out arms, abs, but not quite so much the ankle. The PT will give you all the exercises you need for your individual special circumstances. So I recommend at least waiting like a month before, say like one of your breaks. You should do it then, and you'll definitely won't be getting back to your exercises for another probably 4 months minimum. They say 4 to 6 months, so I'm in like the 5th month, so I'm getting ready to go back into all my exercises. The pain, it will hurt sometimes, but it's not unmanageable. I stopped taking painkillers after the first week of my surgery because I didn't want to rely on it. I know that it can be addictive, and I didn't want to need to have that. If I was in a lot of pain, I would try to go to sleep, and it would take a while, but you just kind of have to calm down and just focus on like breathing, and then you'll fall asleep. And if you wake up in pain, you can take like, sometimes after taking the painkillers, if I was really needing it, I would take Advil or I'd take Tylenol. Moving around, they recommended sleeping in the boot for a month when like all the time. However, I found that after like 3 weeks, I was able to take the boot off, and as long as I was really careful and sleeping where my ankle is not strained, I could sleep on my side. I still couldn't sleep on my back, or sleep on my stomach. I could sleep on my sides as long as I was really careful about not straining my ankle and making sure that it was always in a flexed position when I was going to bed. And after like a month, I could walk around the apartment and everything with no cast on. If it was just light walking, I didn't even need the soft brace, so like small exercises. And for the first week after the surgery, I did not shower because I could not stand on one leg, and plus my cast would get wet, and they said you couldn't get the cast wet. So what I did was, right before going in to get my huge cast off, I took a bath. So I propped one leg up outside the bathtub on a chair, and it's been a while since I took a bath, but I was like just taking a bath, and it was like a week of like grossness, but I wasn't exercising, but your dead skin will just fall off. And I had help from my mom. She helped me take the bath. So if you're comfortable with that, try to have like a parent or a sibling, or maybe even like a close friend help you. And if not, you can manage, but definitely it was a workout, especially since you haven't been moving for a while, and just getting up and exercising again, not even just like regular menial tasks, will be kind of difficult. So I hope that helped you guys, or whoever else is going through a similar situation or is about to have the procedure. If you have any other questions, feel free to comment down below. You can follow me on Instagram at alazoo12345, and you can DM me any questions. My email is the same thing, but at gmail.com. Feel free to leave any questions, and subscribe, press the notification bell to get more updates on the procedure and the recovery process. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye!